with Sasha, it's weird because, again, it looked like they were teasing for a little while her and Charlotte at Mania. What are you thinking as far as who Ronda Rousey is choosing? I think at this point, I think she's making her decision tomorrow as we speak. I think it's going to be Charlotte Flair freeing up Bianca to go after Becky, which makes me happy for Bianca that they're going to fill that story, see it through, have her hopefully beat Becky. If she doesn't, then just, I don't know what to say at that point. But then Sasha kind of gets fucked. So I feel like either way, regardless of who Ronda chooses, because she wasn't in the cards to come back a month ago as far as we know, as far as we know from this company standpoint, booking standpoint too, I don't know what you do with Sasha. That's the question right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should do Becky and Ronda. I mean, I know it screwed Bianca over, but I just feel like that's the story they've been telling, even without Ronda being involved. Like, Becky keeps saying, I've been champion since WrestleMania 35. Yeah, I've been champion since WrestleMania 35. She hasn't lost since then. So, hasn't lost. So, I feel like it'd make the most sense to have her versus Ronda, because that's when, that's who she beat for the belt. Ronda hasn't been back since. So it makes sense for her to face Becky. I mean, I've seen things saying that, that Ronda would be here for this year and next year. And they'll do her and Becky next year.
But so much can change between now and then, I think, right?
What?
So much can change between now and then.
Exactly. And if Becky loses the belt, I feel like it mean so much less than if they face each other.
Yeah.
I feel like it just makes more sense to have her face now because the story's being told that Becky has been champion since WrestleMania 35. She beat Ronda.
Yeah, exactly. That's my thought.
Ronda looked like a loser. Why would Ronda want to beat Charlotte? I don't think there's really no reason for her to face. There's no reason for her to face Charlotte other than them saying, "Oh, you're gonna face Charlotte because we have Bianca waiting for Becky." But then, like you said, then it screws over Sasha, who seemingly was probably gonna face Charlotte if Ronda didn't come back. So I don't know. I feel like it'd make way more sense if you had Ronda face Becky, but I feel like she's gonna choose Charlotte.
And that's the bigger match, too, because, again, I always go back to this, and I said this last week. Whoever wins the Rumble should main event WrestleMania like they did last year. Ronda and Charlotte, maybe 5 years ago, I don't think in 2022, that is not a WrestleMania main event. To me, the WrestleMania main event is either Ronda and Becky. I don't think they would put Becky and Bianca on last since Becky or Bianca didn't win the Rumble. Ronda's a bigger star than Bianca. She is. I mean, that's just a fact. Even though her stock has dropped, obviously, considerably in the last 5 years, she's still a bigger, star than Bianca. I don't really want to see Ronda and Charlotte in the Mania main event. And if they do that, and we know Roman's in the main event, obviously, there's not even a question that he's going to be in the main event again, especially if they don't know what the WWE title match is. That would mean for the second straight year, both matches would be SmackDown matches in the main event of WrestleMania. 4 straight matches between 2 years, I just don't buy that.
I said that. I said maybe we should go out.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe it'll be Becky, so it won't be two the same thing. But then you said last year, and I totally had forgotten that. But I don't know. I just feel like Ronda Becky makes too much sense to not do it now.
I
just
agree.
feel like Charlotte, because why would Ronda want to face Charlotte? I don't get it. She just beat her in the Royal Rumble. I just don't get why she'd want to face her. The last time she was wrestling, she lost to Becky. She comes back, beats Charlotte to then get the chance to face Becky again. So why the fuck would you face Charlotte? It makes no sense. It does make sense. I don't care what everyone's like, I can't wait for the match. Why? Why would you want to see the match?
What, Charlotte and Ronda?
You want to see Ronda and Becky because Becky's the one that beat Ronda.
Yes, that makes complete sense, yes. I'm talking, yes, yeah, no, I completely agree. We talked about this a couple days ago over text. Becky and Ronda is undisputably...
And we should have got Becky and Ronda the first time anyways. They had to fucking shoe in Charlotte, because why not?
Yeah. I mean, I know they had one match at Survivor Series a couple months earlier that Ronda won by DQ because Charlotte beat the shit out of her. But if that even still matters to Ronda, which, why would she care more about that than Becky at this point? She has the equal choice of going after either. Like you said, she already tossed Charlotte out of the Rumble. Would that not be her redemption for what Charlotte did to her, presumably 3 or 4 years ago? I mean, like you said, the last time we saw Ronda, she got pinned with her shoulders down to the mat, and it wasn't even clean. That finish was terrible. I mean, we were there, dude. The reaction, I don't know. I mean, it was a pop, but it was more like, I'm hitting the parking lot so I can drive home. And I mean, that was you. I had to wait for a fucking train, and I was stranded, but that's a different story for a different day.
Sore subject still a few years later.
Easily, and it never won't be. But with Ronda, though, she wasn't even pinned decisively. Like, her shoulders were up. Why wouldn't she want to prove to Becky, listen, I'm better than you, bitch? Like, I could see her saying that. I think she said bitch on Monday. I could see her saying that, and then, I don't know, I mean, do you think part of it is the fact that they really want Ronda to get cheered? I know both Charlotte and Becky are faces, or heels, rather. They're all fucking unlikable, is the problem. All three of them as characters. Do you think that they wouldn't want to do Ronda and Becky right now because Becky's in this midst of this like major heel run, and they know that people would cheer Becky over Ronda, and they want Ronda to be cheered, and it's a lot less likely they would cheer Charlotte over Ronda. But then in addition to that, I also ask you, it's not like Ronda came across as a babyface on Monday's Raw. Her promo was terrible, and she did not come across likable whatsoever. So that's another issue.
I have no idea. Like I said, I think if at this point you have to do them, because even if you don't do them this year, it's what are you gonna have Becky be champion again in another year?
Is she gonna hold on to the title for another year? I can't. She can't.
Exactly. So then, unless they're gonna put the belt back on it, but I just feel like it wouldn't make as much sense. Like, this is the moment to do it because it's been so long. Like, I don't know. I guess I don't know, because, I feel like Ronda, is Ronda going to win? That's another thing. It's if you do her and Charlotte, is she going to beat Charlotte, or is she going to lose? Because then she would lose twice, and then what do you do? And then if she lost to Charlotte, then why would I want to see her versus Becky next year? She lost to both of them already. I don't know. I just feel like they're overthinking it. It's so clear. I think it's going to be, they're going to pick her and Charlotte, but, I don't know why you wouldn't do her and Becky. I think it makes the most sense.
If they were to do Becky and Ronda, and I was thinking this after the pay-per-view ended, if she faces Charlotte, Ronda absolutely has to. That's not even a question. If Charlotte were to beat Ronda Rousey, and I'm not even saying that's impossible, because look at all the other Charlotte matches we've gotten at WrestleMania where she shouldn't have won. When she beat Rhea Ripley, shouldn't have won there. WrestleMania 32, when she beat Becky and Sasha, shouldn't have won there. WrestleMania 34 against Asuka, shouldn't have won there. They have her win the most random matches where it doesn't make sense. And I think this year would be the same thing. It would be fucking dumb if she won this match against Ronda Rousey, assuming they go in that direction. But what I was thinking about was, if she chooses Becky, I know Bianca wouldn't get her moment at Mania. But here's the thing, though. She won at WrestleMania last year in the main event, so it's not like she's never had a WrestleMania moment. I think she also debuted at WrestleMania in the year before in the Performance Center, but on the main roster. So what if you do Ronda and Becky, but you have Becky win? I know you're saying Ronda would get pinned twice. I think it would be okay if they didn't have her lose again for a while after that. What I would do, I would have Becky beat her. Because Becky, again, she never really got the decisive win over Ronda. It wasn't one-on-one. And like I said, the shoulder shit, it looked terrible. She has yet to actually beat Ronda. So I feel like her beating Ronda, close out that story. She finally gets her win over her, whether she's a face or heel or whatever. Probably still heel. Maybe if Ronda's the babyface going into Mania, maybe that's what causes her to snap and go heel or whatever. I would then, you can wait this long. I don't know how many women they have left in that division that Becky hasn't beaten yet. I would wait until SummerSlam and then have Bianca beat Becky there. Maybe in the main event, they'll be in Nashville. SummerSlam is never, I don't know when the last time SummerSlam was in Nashville, but that's the same state in which Bianca is from. So, and it's also a year from when Bianca lost to Becky anyway. That to me makes more sense. What you do with Bianca in the meantime, maybe she wins that pointless women's WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. If they even have enough women to do that this year, I don't know. She could do something else at Mania. Maybe she faces a Lita or a Beth Phoenix or something. I don't know.
Or maybe her with Liv and they do a tag team thing.
Yeah, that's possible too. And they already kind of had that built-in friendship from a couple of weeks ago or whatever. And they teamed together on Raw a few times. Is that something that you would want to see? Because to me, Bianca still gets her moment at the end. Becky gets to beat Ronda. We get Becky and Ronda, which is a big match. And Charlotte can face Sasha Banks. I think that's a win-win for everyone. And Sasha can finally win a match at WrestleMania.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, you do that, and then you can have Ronda face Charlotte at SummerSlam.
Yeah, exactly. Or she goes to SmackDown, or they just have her... What if Rhea goes heel, or what if Ronda Rousey goes heel? What if Ronda snaps, like I said, after WrestleMania? People are going to boo her anyway, so I don't know how you would drag her out as a face between now and Mania, because people already don't like her. But you got a big reaction to the Rumble, but that's because she's back. But by the time it settles in that she's back, people will start to boo her, I guarantee you. Especially if she cuts more promos like she cut on Monday, which was just terrible. I think I saw more charisma from that piece of cardboard on that show Ed, and Eddie 20 years ago than I did from Ronda Rousey in that promo on Monday's Raw. But from there... like you said, maybe she faces Charlotte at SummerSlam. Assuming Ronda's still on Raw, what if you turn her heel and have her feud with Rhea Ripley? Rhea Ripley doesn't have anything going on right now. I mean, she beat Nikki Ash clean as a sheet on Monday. That should be over. So maybe you could do that going into... Maybe you could do Bianca and Rhea as a WrestleMania match. That's another thing. Maybe they could do Rhea and Ronda at SummerSlam. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah, I agree. I just feel like at the end of the day, it should be Ronda and Becky. And if they don't, they're missing a huge opportunity there.
I mean, that is WrestleMania written all over it. And like I said, anything can change between now and then, or now and next year. What if one of them gets hurt? What if one of them decides, what if Ronda, I mean, I know she signed through next year, but let's face it, dude, when she came the first time 4 years ago, she was signed for 2 or 3 years. She left after a year. I mean, she can kind of leave if she wants to. Like, if she decides that she's going to get pregnant again, she wants another kid. Same thing with Becky Lynch. Nothing is stopping these people from leaving or, again, getting hurt. Or what if someone else, I guess I don't know if this would happen, but what if someone like Raquel Gonzalez came up and got super hot and they had to push her, or Rhea Ripley got super over? I just feel like you're really risking it by waiting one more year. Like you said, bottom line, Becky and Ronda, I'm not saying it has to be the Mania match because it's not like it's an alternative. Like, the alternative I don't think is terrible with Charlotte and Ronda. I just don't think it makes sense. I wouldn't complain. I just don't really think that's as strong of an option. If you really want to do 2 strong main events for Mania, it's Brock and Roman, and then maybe Seth, but probably not. Those 2 on one night, and then Becky and Ronda the other night. That's what I would do. I feel like to do anything else would be weird for the main event of Mania to not feature Becky Lynch, who has been the biggest star in this company, aside from, honestly, probably Roman and Brock. She's probably 1-3. If they're 1A and 1B, she's 1C. I think that's safe to say.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think you could do her and Ronda Saturday night and do Roman and Brock Sunday night.
Completely agree. And I would have Becky win, and then Roman, I would, in a perfect world, I would have him win. I would have him win too, but we can't get too greedy. I'm sure his reign is probably coming to an end at WrestleMania this year. I'm sure. What if they just have Ronda and Brock just walk out with all that? I mean, they probably could. They walked out of the Rumble winning, right? I mean, there's a decent chance they both walk out of WrestleMania with all the championships. There's a very real possibility of that.
It's possible.
It's possible, and I fucking hate that reality that we live in if that actually happens. But I guess we'll find out. We'll be sitting on the edge of our seats finding out whether that's actually going to happen or not. So time will tell. It's not predictable. I will give them that, though. It's not predictable. So that is a positive, right?
Yeah, it's always a positive. I mean, predictability is what usually ruins everything.
And that's what ruined the Men's Royal Rumble. I mean, although I would have been fine with the finish, and we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, it's not predictable, and this conversation is probably going to be irrelevant by tomorrow when Ronda Rousey comes out on SmackDown and chooses Charlotte, so it doesn't even matter in the end.
Exactly. Tomorrow, when she says Charlotte tomorrow and I break my cell phone, I won't hear from you for a while.
Exactly.